Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, you have the right to remain well entertained. What movie ducked you straight in your feelings? Fox and the Hound. I'm 32, and I just watched it again with my son. It's still heartbreaking. Goodbye may seem forever. Farewell is like the end. But in my heart's the memory, and there you'll always be. 32 and still can't hear it without tears. Same, immediate tears. Unbelievably powerful children's film. Ducking Coco when he sings for his grandma at the end. Grown donkey man sobbing next to my wife. I ugly cried to Coco so freaking hard. Mad respect. I started ugly crying on a plane watching it. Gave up to avoid attention and ugly cried watching it alone at home a few days later. I watched it on a plane too. Why did I do that to myself? Made the mistake of watching Inside Out with my then nearly 1-year-old daughter napping on me. Freaking bing bong, man. A friend saw it at the cinema. There was a huge bloke with his daughter in front of him. The guy was on his phone throughout. This was for his kid. This wasn't for him and he seemed to want everyone to know it. Bing bong fades out. Where's he gone, Daddy? Said the daughter. Silence. You could hear a pin drop. The cinema must know. Where has he gone? Don't know. He eventually squeaked through his tears, and set off a round of sniffling through the whole place. This would be a rare answer, but that I'm still here montage from Treasure Planet really got to me. It was so depressing to see that Jim's father leave him as a kid and never got back and was the main reason why Jim had been suffering from depression. Plus later in the movie, John Silver said something very touching to Jim after the serious journey they've been on. You're gonna rattle the stars, you are. Eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. Every time I need a good cry about a E ending, that's a go-to. Was going to post this myself. I can't even listen to Beck's Everybody's Gotta Learn Sometimes without tearing up a bit. The Iron Giant. Superman. As his eyes slowly close, the Iron Giant is a masterpiece. I couldn't agree more. This movie has more depth and feeling than many big-budget, live-action movies that I've seen. The Green Mile. Please boss, don't put that thing over my face, don't put me in the dark. I'm afraid of the dark. Dude, that scene absolutely broke me. The Never-Ending Story. They look like such strong hands. Don't they? Kids movie, My Donkey. That scene with the horse. Wall-E. My toddler is developing empathy. When Eve was frantically pushing Wall-E's buttons, she turns to me with a quivering lip and says, "What's happening, Mama?" And that made me lose it. Good God, how could you ever keep it together? Grave of the Fireflies. The best movie that you'll only watch once. When I was in the throes of my depression, I skipped class, cuddled up in bed and watched that movie on my phone. Then I was talking to 2 friends about it later that day, and they wanted to watch it. I watched this movie twice in one day, and it was as terrible as you would think. About Time, towards the end of the film always hits a little too deep. I think what got me is that I went in thinking it was just going to be a random nothing sort of movie. His dad's speech at the reception and then the last time he played ping pong with him, right in the feels. Watership Down. That is not a kid's movie, straight up. That was one of 3 VHS movies we had in our car. That, Tremors, and Austin Powers, Gold member. And this was when we were 10. Who was in charge of us? What Dreams May Come. Oh, such a beautiful, beautiful film. Haven't been able to bring myself to watch it since he died. Same. It's one of the only movies of his I've not watched since. Up. I have never cried so much in the first few minutes of an animated movie. I was in pain watching that, utterly gut-wrenching. He was an amazingly lucky man. Big Fish. I can't not cry in those final scenes. So we went to see Big Fish in theaters, picture it 2003 in a dark theater. We get to the end where goodbyes are said and stories are told. My dad is holding my hand and I suddenly feel him shaking. My dad is sobbing and shaking because of the heartfelt goodbye that the son gives to his father. Why, you may ask? 7 years prior in 1996 my dad found my grandfather after he had completed suicide. My dad never got to say goodbye or tell him how much he loved him. Hold your loved ones close and check on those you know need it. For the men reading this, there is not shame in getting help for your mental health, it's never too late. Big Hero 6. My older cousin passed away a couple months before and I lost it cause I felt like the younger brother. My sister protected me through childhood and now is a terrible addict. This is such a good movie, but it always makes me ugly cry. Super underrated movie. Bridge to Terabithia. I was way too young for the emotional trauma that movie hit me with. Yeah, same for me. I was in phase of discovering what liking someone feels like, and that thing hit like a train loaded with trains. I'm still yet to rewatch it without crying so many years later. What would have been your answer or question? Leave it in the comments below. Slap that like and subscribe button for more, and check out the link in the video description for even more answers. Peace out, and catch you in the next video.